Welcome and greetings to the 5th episode of the Nerdom and Other Nonsense podcast. Your home for all things nerddom, gaming, tech, and entertainment. Soon to be available on iTunes and Google Play. Be sure to follow us on Twitter for the latest information on this podcast, as well as our others. Also with me tonight, I have
Leo
and
Becom.
All right, what's up with you guys this week? What have you guys been doing?
My work schedule is suddenly going to start killing me. I was just informed today. It's sounding like it's going to be a rough couple weeks ahead. They're projecting 9 weeks of 12-hour days for 7 days a week.
Oh my God.
It's going to be intense. Fortunately, the job's it's not that hard. It's mostly just babysitting the machine. Sometimes I got to do some work, but it's still just mentally taxing being there the entire day. It's definitely going to cut into my gaming time, since then I know there's a couple big games coming up that I want to check out. But thank God, when I leave, I only have to take care of 2 cats, so it's not that hard. But on the bright side, I'll definitely be able to get a PS4 and play some of those games.
Well, that's exciting.
Want to, and play some of the old ones that I never got a chance because they were PS4 exclusives. But what about you, Becom?
So I unfortunately take part in Twitter, which has been a horrible idea the past couple weeks. So I've been following the continuing adventures of Steve Bannon, who is Trump's ventriloquist. Advisor in chief, who I have begun to refer to as the Calamity Bannon.
Ooh, fancy.
He's the ruler of the segregated states of America, and he's tearing the country asunder. Hopefully a hero of time will appear to save Hyrule before it's too late. But if I had to bet on who that hero would be, news broke today, and there's hope, because the twin sons will be born to Beyonce. So take heart, America, because heroes are on the way.
What you're saying is we need to separate them, send one off into the wilderness to have like an Obi-Wan look over him and then not tell the other one at all?
Yes.
And then just make a great cinematic saga out of it?
Yes, Yoda must return to train the hero. And yeah, that's what we need. That's all we need.
Who's Yoda? Totally Chris Brown? Chris Brown?
Okay, well, next fucking topic. It's not going to get any better than that.
I got a joke, but it's going bad. You guys just want to go ahead and move on to news now?
Let's move on.
Episode 5, welcome to the rabbit hole.
Jesus. All right. News, that seems to be a coming trend for us lately. We like to start off with some Nintendo Switch news, but that makes sense since it's kind of the top of everything right now. But they are now up to 100 games in development for Twitch. Kimishima is quoted as saying, "At the presentation, we announced that there were over 80 titles in development for more than 50 software publishers. But that number has now climbed to over 100 titles from more than 70 publishers.
And soon will climb to more than 9,000 titles."
Maybe. It's an improvement. That's
good.
Shows something. But
that's right. You heard it here first. The Nintendo Switch, not the Wii U.
Yeah. Oh, and Japan has also just did their last production of the Wii U, so it's no longer in production.
Rest in peace, Wii U.
And he also goes on to talk about why their gaming release is a little interesting. Like we talked earlier, the new Zelda game is really the only thing we're looking out forward to, and it's also the only big launch title. But it's part of their business strategy, and he's quoted as saying, "Our thinking in arranging the 2017 software lineup is that it's important to continue to provide new titles regularly without long gaps." He said, "This encourages consumers to continue actively playing the system, maintains buzz, and spurs continued sales momentum for Nintendo Switch."
Yeah, that was clearly a problem with the Wii U. There were huge gaps in between AAA Nintendo games.
And it makes sense from a business point. I mean, once you start, getting done with the game you're playing, you see a new one coming out next week, and you're like, all right, it's the new Mario one. So, I get it, but
yeah, it's
not like a big start come flying out of the gates. But Zelda is probably doing a pretty good job. It's probably one of the main. Okay, let's be straight. It's the main reason anybody's pre-ordering a Nintendo Switch right now.
Definitely true. And then, so the other piece of news that I added to this was that apparently Nintendo Switch online services are going to cost between 2,000 and 3,000 yen in Japan, which is what the president of Nintendo, Tatsumi Kimishima, said to the Nikkei. They told the Nikkei this. So that would translate to about $1,750 to $2,650 in US dollars. So that would mean that we're getting a much lower priced subscription for online services for Nintendo than for Xbox or PS4.
Yeah, just under half.
So
Yeah,
that could mean a couple of things.
You have to consider what you get for that, because unless Nintendo's backtracking on what they said about the voice chat not being included, then what's really the point? You know, because I'm mostly a social gamer, so unless like there's a big upside to just like, oh yeah, it's just a fun game, I'm gonna sit down and not talk to anyone for 3 hours, then
Well, yeah, we're all Destiny players. Chat is a must-have.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so we're probably, I don't know, we're not going to see like the same kind of features that we see from PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live, I'm guessing. I mean, if they're pricing it that low, and I would be more inclined to believe the rumor that the games that we're going to get for free are only going to be timed for free, you know, for a month or so, and then we're not going to be able to keep them for the duration of our subscription. So
Yeah, and
we'll see.
Nintendo doesn't have a good track record with their online service, really. So
No.
it's kind of, and now they're going to do one at just under half price of what you do for the PlayStation and Xbox. So that's scary to me. I don't see them doing it very well.
probably means half features.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, what other news do we have, guys?
Next on the list, we've got Ni no Kuni 2 coming to PC, which is super exciting. I thought it was only going to be PS4. And you don't get like too many like huge, awesome JRPGs that are modern on the PC. So this is really great news.
Did you say JRPG? I will have to pick this up then.
Oh yeah, JRPG in the style of Studio Ghibli art. So yeah, it's pretty freaking great.
Oh man, I'm touching myself right now. It's amazing.
So my only question is if we're gonna get a port of the original Ni no Kuni, which was only on PS3, either on PC or PS4. I would love it in either place. But it could, if it's only on PS4, it could determine where I buy Ni no Kuni 2 as well. It's like if they make like a package or something that they package it in as a bundle for a little bit extra, I would totally be all over that. So we'll see.
What's up next? We got Square Enix and Marvel announced partnership to begin the Avengers game development, which it's the same creators of Tomb Raider reboot games.
Yeah.
Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal.
Yeah, Eidos Montreal. And actually, one thing to note about this partnership between the Avengers and Square Enix is that as a result, Square Enix has indefinitely postponed the next iteration of the Deus Ex.
Which is fine by me. Like, I know there's big Deus Ex fans out there, but like, I don't know. I'd like to see them do something different for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, Square Enix has their hand in so many things in the gaming industry. It's hard to really keep track of what all they're doing, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the Marvel universe and see where they take it. It seems that Disney's kind of pawning off all their big franchises to all these different developers, and then my guess is the second time around they'll see what turned out the best for them financially, and then they'll just ship it all to one or something.
I think Crystal Dynamics is a great dev to give the Avengers game to, though. Like, I really have enjoyed like Rise of the Tomb Raider and Lara Croft's Tomb Raider reboot. I mean, those games were really great. They were graphically really modern. They had some great action in them as well as some great RPG elements. So I'm really excited to see what they do with the Avengers.
Yeah, I never got to play them, but
Good games.
good to know.
The next piece of news I'm really excited about. There is a John Wick VR game coming just like the day before the movie comes out on February 9th for HTC Vive on Steam. So I have a Vive, and this is like hopefully my killer app because I totally just want to be John Wick in VR. That sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, if it's anything like the movie, it's just gonna be just action sequence after action sequence after action sequence.
So what I hear is you're going to do a playthrough and record the gameplay for us so we can see it.
So there is a way to record what you're seeing in the Vive, because like you can make a window pop up on your screen. So I guess I technically could record this. It would be tricky though I don't know. It'd be tricky.
You'd have to experiment a little bit. Yeah. Do you have another game you could play around with first?
Yeah. 11 table tennis. The greatest game.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'd say just play around with that and you'll probably figure it out pretty quick.
Okay.
Yep, and then it looks like the next announcement we have is Dirt 4 was announced for PS4, Xbox One, and PC for June of this year. And for me, that is good. I loved playing the Dirt franchise before.
Yeah.
So for me, it's nice to have another iteration of it, one that I can actually play on a current generation console. So I do love me some racing games.
Yeah, and they're the best like rally car racing games, the off-road racing games. So it's fun to see that they're continuing on with that series. It's usually graphically pretty great. It always sounds great. So I'm excited for it.
So we'll take a quick round table. Forza Horizon or Dirt? Which franchise do you pick?
Forza Horizon.
I'll have to go Forza Horizon because I haven't played Dirt.
Well, you need to get your hands on some Dirt.
Because I would good, but I just love Horizon.
Does Dirt do the rally racing better?
Yes, it does. Like Forza Horizon is like,
yeah, it does other racing types, so I wouldn't expect it to be better because Dirt focuses on rally specifically.
Yeah, Dirt is like the traditional Forza version of off-road racing, whereas Forza Horizon is more of the arcade, like story-based, arcade style off-road racing. So I'm much more of a simulation racer rather than an arcade style racer. So I love Dirt for the off-road, and I like Forza for the traditional track racing. And then if I really want to go further, I'll go back to like MX vs ATV, not any of the ones they've released on consoles, but like MX vs ATV Unleashed for the PC from forever ago, and it had this giant track editor that shipped with it where you can make just these like giant 20 square mile maps or something. So I'm a big sucker for racing games. It's actually, I think, what started me on video games, really, beyond like the PlayStation demo disc. We had, I think the first game we actually had, me and my brothers, was like NASCAR 99. So throwing it back.
Why don't you pick up this Final Fantasy news, BCom, since I've barely played this game so far?
So, Final Fantasy 15 has a bunch of DLC that's coming, and it got dated. So the first piece of DLC is called the Booster Pack, coming out February 21st, which is going to put the players in Magitech exosuits that look exactly like Super Sentai costumes or Power Rangers costumes.
I was going to say like you're piloting a mech now?
No, not piloting a mech. Like Magitech armor just like is like an exosuit basically.
Okay.
Stronger.
Power Rangers.
And
it's
then,
a really original name for the DLC. Booster Pack.
Yeah, it's so exciting. You will, as we continue on, we'll see that their naming conventions aren't the most exciting. The next piece is Episode Gladiolus, coming out March 28th. And
what's that about? I can't fathom what it would be about.
I think it's about Gladio. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
I think I know exactly what it's going to be about, because if you've played Final Fantasy 15, you know there's a certain part of the game where Gladiolus just disappears for like a half hour and then comes back with like scars on his face, and they never talk about it. So, yeah,
Great.
I'm pretty sure where that piece of DLC is set. And then Episode Prompto is coming out June.
What's this one about? Can I guess?
Yes, please guess.
It's about Ignis, right? The other character?
No, because you see, Final Fantasy doesn't give a shit about Ignis, which pisses me off, because so Prompto and Gladio both get these big story moments in the game. Ignis doesn't get anything. He just cooks for you the entire game,
and pushes
you get
his glasses
no
up on his
respect
face,
for it,
right?
and it pisses me off. What?
Fair enough.
You got anything else on Final Fantasy?
I've never played Final Fantasy. I'm getting ready to actually play through Final Fantasy VII probably in the next month or two. I'm currently in the wake of the lack of exclusives for Xbox One and just nothing really being on the market so far early this year. I've been going back through Steam and switching back towards my roots and playing PC and playing through my back catalog. So that's in my back catalog of things that I need to get through. We'll just see when I get to it.
We should record that because I've never beaten that game.
Really?
Yeah, never beaten Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, man.
Well, here, I'll say we will record it, and we might even do some live streaming if I can get it to live stream.
Okay. Sounds good.
So
that sounds like a plan. I have it on PC and PS4, I think. So it's two places we can potentially record it from, or from your place too. Yeah,
that's true.
So, continuing on with the Final Fantasy 15 news, this was a small piece of news that made me really happy. They have plans. Square has plans to increase the 150 in-game photo limit, which might sound like just like a little thing, but it was pretty annoying when you got towards the end of that game. You had like 145 photos, and you got 5 awesome photos, and you had to go back through your entire catalog and delete the ones that you loved, but you have to delete them now. So, and it wouldn't be as big of a deal, except at the end of Final Fantasy 15, the photos that you have taken play an important role in the ending of that game. That's all I'll say. So it's interesting anyway. So I'm glad that they're increasing this limit. I hope it's like 1,000 photos or something. I hope it's huge. So.
A whole SD card full of photos.
Oh, man.
I also saw that the director of Final Fantasy 15, Hajime Tabata, said that he would like to port the game to PC in the future. He said it would be like a technical effort to do so, but he would also love for it to support modding. So that's interesting. I would love to see the Final Fantasy mods that made all of the characters Cloud and Barrett. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah, you could do some pretty fun stuff. Okay, but anyways, then some more news from a game that I've been loving so far, but they are now coming out with their first DLC only a week later, which to me smells a little bit like BS. A week? Really? Come on. But I'm loving, like I said, I'm loving the game, so I'm going to look the other way for now. But Resident Evil 7's first DLC is already out on PS4. BCom, you're playing this on PS4, correct?
Yes, but so...
Have you checked these out?
My question is the DLC free, or is it part of the season pass or whatever?
No, it's part of the season pass, but even if it's not, I think it's just $9.99.
Okay, so I didn't buy the season pass yet, but I think I probably will. I haven't played this yet, though. So I saw that it has some really cool puzzles in it, supposedly.
Yeah. It has... So the first one's called Banned Footage Volume 1. And it has 3 different modes. The first one is Nightmare Mode. It's just basic survival mode. You're just supposed to make it through the night in the baker's house. I don't have any more specifics besides that. I think you gotta sneak around a lot and kill certain things and probably do a couple puzzles here and there, but that's just the nightmare mode. The second mode is called Ethan Must Die. Yeah, their naming is about like Final Fantasy. It's pretty much straight to the point.
Yeah.
In this mode, I guess the enemies are harder. The items are randomized, so it's never the same when you play it twice. And it gives you a specific goal. I think that's usually going to be kill so-and-so. It may be get so-and-so to here. You also have to craft items as you go through it.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the third one, which seems to be the best one, is called Bedroom.
Well, of course it's the best one.
Yeah. And guess what? You have to escape from the bedroom. If anybody's familiar with the game, there's a certain puzzle called the birthday cake room or something, which is pretty cool. But it's being touted as the best puzzle in the game so far. But you're locked in the bedroom, and I guess Marguerite, whatever you want to say her name, Margarita, who cares?
Margaritaville.
I guess you're basically trapped in there, but she comes back and forth to check on you. If you make a lot of noise, she'll come barging in. But the thing is, when you're solving the puzzles to get out of the room, you have to put things back the way they were. So if she comes back and finds a piece of paper turned sideways or a drawer open, she knows you're trying to get out, and then it's basically game over. But I think it sounds pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. And then the PS4 will be getting Volume 2 February 14th, and Xbox One and PC have to wait until February 21st. Why?
Oh, I'm glad
What's
I bought
the
it on
point?
PS4.
Yeah, I have it on Xbox, and obviously because I have an Xbox, I have it on my computer. I have on 2 systems, you have on 1, and I have to wait. Give me a break.
That's called overcompensation.
Apparently.
Also, that whole bedroom puzzle thing sounds a little bit like the game. Not sure if you guys have seen it yet. Emily Wants to Play.
Oh,
No.
I've heard of it, but I haven't played it. Yeah.
So what you're saying is you need to play it on VR, BCom.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because
I want to live stream that so I can see you rip the gear off your head and just run from the room screaming.
I would love to see some of that. That
Oh,
would be
God.
amazing.
I watched some streams of people playing Resident Evil in VR, and I was like, nope, no thank you.
Yeah, I mean, because some of those, the creatures get like right up in your face, and on a TV it's one thing, but on a VR, it's literally in front of your face, and that can be a totally different thing.
The thing is, I could probably take it now because since I've beaten the game like a while ago, I've seen so many other people's playthroughs of the game that I like know that game by like the back of my hand now. Like I know
yeah,
like
but you
everything
have to do
about
it with
that
the
game.
DLCs because you haven't seen those
Oh,
yet. That's what
God.
we're calling.
Well, into the, I guess, positivity of VR, I saw a report that came out. I can't remember where it was. Came out this past week that said Resident Evil 7 has underperformed on sales. It's shipped like 2.5 million copies or something, but I guess that's lower than what Capcom expected. But on the positive note, 10% of people who are playing the game have played it on PSVR.
Yeah, that was a huge number to me. Like that's like a huge portion of people who are playing the
Yeah,
game.
that's
I believe that's surprising, yeah.
that's like at least 100,000 people who have played it on PSVR, even if only for like 10 minutes, but they've played it on PSVR. So
Would you say
PlayStation fans
that's-
are hardcore, man.
Yeah, would you say that most people who own a VR probably did play Resident Evil 7 then?
I would say if you own a PSVR, you've likely played Resident Evil 7 on it. Due to those numbers, yeah.
Yeah, you would think so. So that's interesting. So that means that Capcom definitely nailed the VR market then if they basically almost had all of them play it.
well, it's really like the first big AAA VR title.
True.
So that could be a big stepping stone for VR, which was, I think, the total video game and video game content industry hit like $91 billion in 2016. And of that, VR was only like $2 billion or something.
Yeah.
So the fact that over, 100,000 people played it in VR, that's saying something, especially at what, 2.5 million times $60 a pop or whatever. That's a lot of money going to Capcom. You take 10% of that, that's still a lot of money for VR. So it definitely seems to be the way things are going now. So
Yeah.
But-
And just so Leo and I can feel bad about ourselves, the current Resident Evil 7 speedrun world record is down to about 94 minutes. So that's like a little over an hour and a half. So yeah, I think we need to work on our speedruns there.
Yeah, but that's they're using, like, when you beat the game, you actually get like an actual sprint, so to say.
Oh really? I didn't know
You
that.
get a stronger. I know you get a handgun that will basically one shot most things also.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can definitely see how that immediately makes you so much faster.
Next piece of news. Overwatch has some changes coming to the characters. The most notable one that I saw was that Bastion, who is like the character who's a robot who can transform into a sentry turret, is getting like a complete overhaul. Which is interesting because Bastion's pretty much been like the same-ish since like the beta. And they've always been trying to like make the game balanced around his abilities and stuff. And people hated Bastion back in the day, and then they started to like him again, and now I think they hate him again. I don't know. He's always like a source of like, conflict and everything. But anyway, so in his non-turret mode, when he's just walking around, He's getting reduced bullet spread and an increased magazine size, which will probably make that mode way more viable. Like you basically, when you're playing Overwatch, it seems like if you have Bastion and he's outside of turret mode, you're typically screwed against any other character. So that makes this mode makes him a little bit more mobile and a little bit more versatile.
I was going to say, are you stationary when you're in turret mode?
Yeah, you're stationary. You can just swivel your turret, and you have like a Gatling gun that shoots really fast. So it was like very deadly if you, especially if you have like another player who is shielding you. Then it becomes really useful.
Yeah, if you have like a Reinhardt or something, you become a play of the game machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is just ridiculously broken, even 6 months after it's come out or something. So.
But it looks like they're going to tweak turret mode, and I don't know the specifics on that, except that they said that they want it to become more of a tank buster or a barrier breaker tool rather than just like a slaughtering like everything mode. So I guess that's going to get tweaked a little bit. And transforming between the two modes is going to be less suicidal now, because typically, like if you were in turret mode, you basically just had to stay in turret mode if somebody spotted you. Because if you tried to transform out of it, the time it takes to do that was so long that they would eventually just kill you, like almost 100% of the time while you were transforming. So, but now you're going to transform a little bit faster, and there is going to be a brief period of like iframes while you're transforming, so you are invincible for a little bit during that period, or you take less damage at least. And then self-repair, Bastion's self-repair ability will no longer be interrupted by taking damage, which means you can probably heal through some damage that you're taking, which I thought was the case already. That explains a lot why I died when I was trying to self-repair.
It makes sense.
And apparently it's going to be a lot like D.Va's new defense matrix mechanic. So it's like self-repair based on like how many like resources you have, and I guess you can't self-repair indefinitely. You'll run out of self-repair juice and have to wait for a cooldown. So it won't be overpowered.
Is that what it's called? Self-repair juice?
Oh yeah.
Is that like Metagel?
It's like pimp juice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But only for D.Va. Like a 15-year-old like Korean girl. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Moving on to the next piece of quote-unquote news, I just thought this picture was amazing. Kotaku posted an article called "A Complete Wii Collection is an Impressive Sight." And it's just a collector, and actually there were two collectors in this Imgur gallery. They gathered together the entire collection of Wii games. They've collected every single one, all 1,262 games. And it is pretty impressive to see them.
Yeah, I'm looking
all
at it,
together.
and the picture is just very, I don't know, it's just kind of almost a little bit breathtaking, because you're like,
yeah,
that's a lot. Wow, yeah, it's 1,200 some games.
I mean, they have like everything. They have like these 2-in-1 packs of like the games you've never even heard of before that are supposedly super rare, and just a whole bunch of garbage that got put on the Wii. I mean, honestly, that's what it is. It's like, come on, I get the collection aspect, but like, that's just a bunch of garbage games on that shelf.
Yeah, they even threw on all the Wii remotes that came out too.
Oh yeah, I thought that was cool. They had like that special red Mario Wii remote. Looks pretty cool.
They have the Luigi one also, and a Toad, and I'm pretty sure that's a Peach, a Yoshi, and I can't make out that last one there.
I'm just hoping that the Nintendo Switch will one day have
Mario.
a collection this large. I'm hoping it's not going to go the way of the Wii U and have like 200 games or something at the most, something horrible like that. So yeah, we'll see.
So anyways, last week, BCom, you talked about this. It's a Kickstarter campaign called Banner Saga 3.
Yeah, and they got funded with 34 days left. So that's good. And they've hit their first stretch goal too, I think, which was to add like another faction or another clan. So that's cool. I think they're up to like 219,000 of their 200,000 goal now. So I knew they were going to get funded. I mean, it's a pretty low goal, and they've had 2 successful games already. So good for them.
So do they have really good stretch goals then?
So it looks like they're only unveiling the stretch goals like one at a time. The first stretch goal.
Or do you mean they're making them up as they go along?
It looks like they're I think they've probably planned them out to a certain extent, but it looks like, so the first stretch goal is 250,000, and that would be adding this Dredge clan to the game. So yeah, they probably have planned it out ahead of time, I would hope.
Nah, there's gonna be, if they hit like, what are they at already? I haven't looked.
Maybe they just got maybe they just got a couple ideas written out on paper, and then when they hit another stretch goal, they're like, well, which one do you guys want to do?
We'll mocap a fan.
Let's see. So next piece of news I thought was kind of relevant to our interests. There is a free Rainbow Six Siege weekend coming for PC, Xbox One, and PS4 from actually tomorrow, February 2nd, Thursday, through Sunday, February 5th.
As of this recording.
Yeah. I'm thinking we should download this and play it on Xbox or something.
I actually have a buddy who plays this, and he's always begging me and my other friends to play this, so I might have to hit him up so that we have somebody who can help us out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have two brothers that do this as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess I'll throw this out here before I even cover it with you guys, but how about we just throw this out there that we'll all try to find a time, say Saturday, so the day after this podcast comes out, on Saturday, where the three of us will try to get on at a collective time.
Okay.
And we will play games with anyone will play Rainbow Six Siege with anyone who wants to play with us, whether we know them or not. So,
yeah, just put their gamer tags in the
comments
info box. Yeah.
Yeah, just put your gamer tag in the comment section below this, and if we don't already know you, we'll play. So we'll go ahead and throw that out there.
Sounds like fun.
Sounds good. We'll plan on Saturday, probably earliest 4 Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Because I'll be at work until 3:15 that time.
Oh, yeah, because you're a slave.
Yeah, for at least 9 weeks, it sounds like.
So why don't we get into what we've been playing this week? I'll start it off.
Go for it.
I actually forgot about this for a second because I played it a few days back, but I was playing the For Honor closed beta on PC with an Xbox controller, so I'm basically playing it as I would on Xbox. That game is pretty fun. I know, Leo, you're looking forward to For Honor.
Oh, yes, very, very much. I unfortunately wasn't interested into it until I saw the beta had just ended. I was like, darn it. I've been watching a ton of gameplay on it and stuff, but I'll delve more into it when we get to another topic.
Yeah, even though it's like a medieval fighting action game, it's kind of like a fighting game because there's combos and it's a lot of like reading your opponent's moves and reacting to them quickly.
Because a lot of the moves have like a tell, so you know how to block.
If I understand correctly, the combat system is a little bit like Dragon Age.
No,
is that true?
I can't really say that.
Maybe Dragon Age Inquisition. I can't remember how the mechanics worked for that. It's like you have to like block in specific directions. Like you can block left, block right, and block up, and your opponent can attack left, attack right, and attack up. So it's like rock paper scissors kind of combat.
Yeah, and like I said, their attacks have a tell, so you know which direction they're coming from and whatnot. So,
but you can you can
having the
throw
one
them
up
off
on the
balance. You can grab them and throw them in a certain direction. And there's different modes. There's 4v4, which is the big like basically domination mode where you have to hold 3 specific areas. And you gain points, and then when you gain like 1,000 points, the other team loses their reinforcements, and you just have to kill the last 4 members of their team before they can revive each other or capture a point back from you. And then there's 2-on-2, which is much more pared down. It's just you. There's no bots or anything. It's just you versus 2 other players with 1 guy on your team. And then there's 1v1, which 1v1 honestly seems like what the game was really designed around, the way that the mechanics work. So 1v1 is intense, but really fun.
Yeah, but almost all the gameplay I saw was the 4v4. And that looked awesome. That looked like you need to get a group of friends together, 4 of you in total, and then just have a whole bunch of fun. And then there's the 3 factions, the samurai, the knights, and the Vikings.
My only problem with the 4v4 and just like mechanics in general is that you can kind of just like run away from a fight pretty easily. Like you just run way across the map. Now the maps are pretty big too, especially in those 4v4 modes. So you can,
but
like,
then it
keep
gives
running.
the other opponents an advantage to press forward and score more points.
This is true, yeah. I think I would like to see a change where sprinting requires stamina, though, so you just can't sprint indefinitely, maybe.
Oh, no, it looks good in case you get onto like a 2v1 scenario where you need to get away. Otherwise, they're just going to wreck you easily.
But there is a balance for that, too. So if you're being attacked by two people for a certain amount of time, you will get what's called like a revenge meter that builds. And then you can pop the revenge button and you get like twice as powerful as you were before. So like all of your hits land super amounts of damage and you can block easier and you can move a little bit faster. So there is a little bit of a balance there that encourages you to stay in a fight against two people, even though it's still pretty hard to beat both of them. But there are occasions when you can.
Yeah, so how many hours did you play this beta, and which mode did you play the most?
I played about 3 or 4 hours. I played mostly 4v4, and then at the end, I played a lot more 2v2 and 1v1, just to see how they were. And as a character, I played mostly like samurai. I played the Nobushi, which is like a long pole-armed samurai. It's like a...
Cool.
I don't know what that weapon is actually called. It's not a naginata, I don't think. I don't know. But that character was really good. I played some of the Viking Raider, which is just like a berserker type of character, which is kind of fun. I didn't play any of the like medieval swordsman characters, actually. So, yeah. It's a fun game.
Now, what else you been playing then?
Why don't we move on to somebody else, and then we'll come back around. We'll just rotate through. So
Sounds good. Go for it, Savage.
Well, we'll start with what I've been playing, I guess, the most, and is probably the most relevant. So we talked a few weeks ago about the games we were looking forward to in 2017 and just kind of what all was coming out this year. And I believe Mass Effect Andromeda was on our list.
Yep.
And for me, I had never played the Mass Effect franchise, period, and just kind of wrote it off as just, you know, a JRPG style game with no real ties to me. Not that I had taken too much time to really invest into looking into it. And then it went on, the original trilogy went on sale on Steam. I believe yesterday is when it started. It might still be up throughout this weekend. We'll have to see. If it's not, don't blame me for it. But the first Mass Effect game is 75% off in the Steam store right now, which makes it $5 for the original game.
Nice.
And then through the EA Origin app, I was able to get the second Mass Effect game for free.
Sweet.
So then it was just the last one, which I'm not to yet. So Mass Effect 3 that have to get through. So other than that, I've just been slowly working my way through that series. Gonna try to see just more or less what it's about. I'm liking the story so far in the first one. So, and I may ultimately, you know, once I get further into the story, either start over and start doing some recording of the gameplay, and maybe do like a let's watch type of thing, or I might just do, you know, just play all the way through and then just start at Mass Effect 2. But so far I'm really liking it. And then beyond Mass Effect, I've been doing a lot of small indie games, most of which has been Ibn Ab, which came out a while ago, and it's a 2D platformer cooperative game. So a while back, I know BCom, you gifted me Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
Oh yeah, great game.
It is a very good game. And then like it's kind of the similar like style of, oh well, we have to you know, work together to accomplish past this, but you can either do it by yourself or it has like an online co-op to it as well. So it's one of those games where you just kind of have to check it out to see what it is, but it's really cool. It's got a great atmospheric soundtrack and everything. So
it looks like gravity switches a lot in this game, or the two different players have different gravity working at the same time?
Kind of. So like there's essentially a line that runs through the center of the screen. That line will change, heights on the screen. So either it'll move towards the top of your screen or the bottom of your screen. And gravity is centralized around that line. So imagine that line is like the center of Earth. If you jump off the bottom, it'll pull you back towards the middle. If you jump off the top, it'll pull you back towards the middle. But sometimes you have to jump through like different holes in this like center equator or whatever to then boost your partner over, then jump down through the hole to launch yourself around an object.
Yeah, I watched some of the gameplay for this, and it looked like a really cool co-op game.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Both people had to be like really in sync. Obviously, the two people knew exactly what they were doing, but it looks like a lot of times you're going to pause and you're both going to go, all right, you do this and I'll do this, and we'll see if it works.
Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for BCom to buy it on Steam so that we can do a playthrough of it. But otherwise, I've just been playing it with one of my brothers who I bought the double pack, and I owed him for Don't Starve Together.
Can you guys record it and then I'll do a commentary where I'm just like, you idiots, don't do that.
Yeah, no, we should definitely do something like that where we do a playthrough or something like that, and maybe we'll do a private live stream so you can comment while we're doing it and just join up like this and do kind of a party chat thing. And even if you wanted to get it on Steam, Leo, then we could even swap out who's playing what.
Oh man, working teamwork with you two sounds absolutely miserable.
Yeah, not like we've done how many Destiny raids together.
Oh, who knows?
Too
many to count, really.
Yeah, at least one a week for a couple months straight. So
Destiny raids don't require teammates and teamwork. They just require the skill of one unique individual named PCOM.
Oh, okay. Sort of like the other game I've been playing, which BCom quickly judged as the biggest piece of crap game he's ever seen, but then quickly reversed his position upon playing it a little further.
Yeah.
And that is Brawlhalla.
Yeah.
Really?
Which is...
So you just absolutely loathe this game right off the bat?
So this game is basically Super Smash Brothers, like a ripoff of Super Smash Brothers with like not as good looking characters, not as tight controls, not as good movesets, not as good weapons.
Now hold on before we get too far in.
Okay, so far it sounds like a very bad Super Mario. Super Smash Brothers game. Jeez.
I will defend this. It is free to play on Steam.
It's free to play. It's early access.
It's also in early access, and they're constantly patching it. It's in beta, so
I played like 5 minutes of like the normal like fighting mode, like infinite lives or whatever, and it was fine, but like it's like not as good as Super Smash Brothers. I was like, oh, this is not so great. So I was playing with Savage and like his brothers, and then Savage had to go for a minute, and then as soon as Savage left, like his brothers are like, oh, by the way, there's all these other game modes. And I was like, what? Okay, let's try some other game modes, see how they are. All the other game modes are better than the Super Smash Bros. Mode. They're all
That's
great.
Awesome, dude.
They're so good. Like there's one where it's like basketball, where you have to like grab a ball and throw it through the enemy team's hoop, basically, and you can like suicide yourself. It's like a bomb that you grab. So like once the bomb is thrown, it starts flickering red, and you can try to catch it, but you have to time it perfectly. So typically you just get in the way, and it blows you up, and you suicide, and you come back, but it stops the ball from getting into your hoop. So there's like all this like psychology and mind games that go on with that. There's a football one where it's like literally you just have to throw a football and then like take it into the enemy's goal, which is kind of fun.
So basically ignore the fighting mode and just play all the others.
Well, the fighting mode I had more fun with later too. Also, so this game, if you just play it for free, you get like 6 characters that you start off with. It's basically like a League of Legends model where the characters will be on rotation. And so some of them cost less to buy in-game currency than others per week. And it looks like there's like something like 30 characters.
Yeah, and with that, if you get it right now while it's in early access, if you pay the $20 fee, it's free to play, but if you pay $20 now, you can literally own every... they call them legends. I'm going to call them champions because that's League of Legends terminology.
Mm-hmm.
You can get every champion forever. So any character they ever develop, you will always get. You will never have to pay for it again.
Well, that's pretty cool.
So that, if it ever goes on Steam sale, I might get, or if I ever have just $20 burning a hole in my pocket. Because I've been looking for a PC version of Super Smash Brothers just to mess around with for forever.
Yeah, honestly, this game has a ton of potential if it can ever live up to Smash Brothers. Even in like 50% of Smash Brothers, is still just having it on PC would be great.
Yeah, and I'll insert over this whole segment here, I've got some game footage of it that I recorded earlier and things like that. I'll throw in at least the video feed, not the audio feed.
Okay, that's awesome.
We try to cut out as much cursing as we can, but I can't just bleep a whole track, so.
That was funny. So when I was playing with Savage and his brothers, I had myself muted because I was eating, except there was one like really intense match that was happening where we had like stocks of lives, and it came down to me and like one other guy. One of Savage's, was it? I can't remember who it was. I think it was Newt or whatever. And then so I just was like kiting him like for like a good 30 seconds and just waiting for him to make a mistake, like just frustrating him. And then he did eventually, and then like I win. I turn on my mic and I'm like, "Get wrecked, son!" for like the first time. And everybody's like, "Oh, now you talk."
Quiet until you had the victory, right?
Yeah.
Now, in all fairness, when BCOM won that game, I died giving him the victory.
This is true.
So I was in the lead the entire match. I was ahead of everybody, most points, everything, and I was like, if I die, BCOM might win. So I try not to die. I'm just like overstanding in a corner, and I get hit, and I'm not paying attention too closely because I'm like, there's 10 seconds left. As long as I stand over here, nobody's gonna come headhunt me. Nah, sure enough, one of my brothers, I think it was Thorn or Marine, came over and just like tapped me, and I fell right down the center of the map, and I just go, well, he won. I'm done.
Savage, a sacrificial pawn. It's for the greater good. I mean,
now he's hooked, so you'll have to get it as well, Leo, and then maybe even after this, if we have time tonight, we can do a battle royale of us three and see who's the best at this Super Smash Brothers.
Are you kidding me? If I want 8 hours of sleep before I go to work tomorrow, I need to be in bed 3 minutes ago.
I will not argue. You, of all people, do need your beauty sleep.
I do. I'm an ugly individual. Oh, jeez. But anyways, I've only been playing one game this week, and that was a beta, Halo Wars 2.
Oh,
and
there was a beta for that? I didn't even know. Damn.
Yeah, it's over. It was over 2 days ago. It went for about a week, but it's an RTS, but it's an interesting RTS because you don't build your bases, you don't, set up your barracks or your home thing.
It's not StarCraft
or your airport or anything like that. What it is you have cards, and the cards are all your characters. And by killing things, and then just over time, and then collecting certain crystals, the energy you get from that is what you spend on the cards, and each card has a certain amount that you spend. And you only hold 4 at a time, but your deck's like 16, 32, I can't remember. No, it's 16. Something like that, somewhere around there.
So it's like Hearthstone.
I never played Hearthstone.
I know, it's not like Hearthstone.
Basically, and the only thing available was basically a capture zone. There were 3 points. You had to control 2 points to get to be earning additional points to your total. And but I played on the Xbox at first, but because on the Xbox I had it on PC. But on the Xbox it was kind of fun, and I was actually doing really good. And then I didn't get to play for a day or two. I came back, got wrecked, just massacred. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And I'm trying to... And you can customize your decks depending on different leaders. There's like 4 of the humans and 4 of the Covenant. And they all have their own special things.
Would you say you have a big deck or a little deck?
You can only have one size deck.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't go over and you can't go under. You have to fill all the slots. That's where it's at.
The size of your deck doesn't matter, Savage, okay?
Apparently.
It's how you use your deck that matters, as long as you fill all the slots with your deck.
Yeah, but anyways, I got wrecked on the Xbox, and then I moved over to my PC, which is really cool because it uploaded everything. I didn't do anything different. And suddenly I was good again because on PC, having a mouse makes a huge deal.
Yes. RTSs should be played with a freaking mouse.
Yeah. The thing was, on the Xbox, it was very difficult, and not difficult, it was just slow to tell your whole group to go to point B, but you want one individual guy to go to point A, just to capture it real quick. Well, on the Xbox, that took like 20 seconds.
Oh, God.
Because you had to scroll across the screen. Well, for two different groups of people, one being your large group, one being a single unit. On the PC, it took me about 5 seconds. I quickly moved my large group to the middle and grabbed one fast unit and made him go up top. 5 seconds, done and out. And also just playing the cards is way faster. Also, because on the Xbox, you have to hold down like the left trigger or right trigger or something like that. And then you have to use your D-pad to select your card that you want to play. And then hit A, and then pick like the spot you want to drop it in. On PC, you just move your mouse over the top of the card you want, click A, and then click your spot. And it makes you so much better. So once I figured out what happened after day 2 or 3 of playing, is basically I was just playing against PC players.
Yeah.
Because once I went to PC, then it was good, and I was doing great again, and the only people beating me were just having a little bit better strategy or a little bit better card pull. So I'm tempted to see what the other game types are. It's let's say because the cards are randomized, it's a little disheartening because it doesn't mean you can play at your best, because sometimes you just get your low class card after low class card, and then but you have like all this energy you can use, but you can't use it, and you're just launching through your low class cards just to try to get a high energy card, but then you've used all your energy throwing out 5 low class cards, and now you don't have energy anymore, and then your opponent drops the freaking 300 energy cards in, which will wreck everything you drop it at.
No,
So,
that's unfortunate. That's kind of random. I don't know if I like that. Yeah.
it at times it favored me, at times it was my disadvantage.
It sounds a little bit like original Hearthstone, where it's a lot of RNG, where if like, you drew Dr. Boom, turn 4, game over.
Yep.
Well, because the energy helps balance it out a little bit, so you can only spend so much on a card, but still there's sometimes like I've played and like literally I was just going through my cards as they came out, and there were other times I'm like, just throw this one out here so I can get it out of the way and get something else in, and then that's the game I lose. So
Yeah. I mean, as far as moving the troops and stuff, you have a Razor Naga, right?
mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna plug this because I love Razor. So
Well,
I mean, you could just program you have what, 10 programmable buttons on your thumb side of your mouse?
12.
So you could literally just like program those to be macros for if you wanted to just quick drag. So instead of like clicking your mouse and dragging, you could just press one button and then just like quickly shift with, whatever DPI setting you want.
Well, here's the thing. Your army is constantly dying and rotating out. Within as short as 10 seconds to as long as, I don't know, minute and a half, 2 minutes, you can have a totally different army. So like even grouping them is like totally pointless. You almost always have to keep them together. The only time you're separating them is when you notice the opponent forgot about a capture point and you send one of your fast units up there to capture it, just to try to get 20 seconds worth of points. So it's almost always a mass attack and hoping you get some of your best cards that counter theirs, because there's your land and air units, and then There's like your cars are basically spell cars that you can launch like a mass of missiles at somebody, or you can drop down an energy beam and move it around and take out specific units, things like that. I don't know how well it's going to do. It's fun to play, but you can't take it too seriously, I don't think.
It's more of a Halo fans' excuse to do something other than Halo 5.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
At least since we know we're going to have to wait till 2018 for Halo 6. So, sadness.
Oh, man, but it'll be good. They're always good.
I sure hope so. I'm dying to find out what happens. So, we may have to do a special edition podcast where we talk about lore. So,
lore of the Halo series would be a good one, yeah.
Jeez.
Just like one episode talk about specifically Halo lore, another episode talk about Destiny lore, because, nobody's going to read all the Grimoire cards unless we do it for them.
Yes.
So,
I've actually, being bored at work, read most of them. So,
like I said, unless we do it for them. So, that's what we're here for.
have you guys played any other games that we haven't covered yet this week?
Yes. So I have a couple more. I got Yakuza 0 this week.
I heard great things. What do you have to say?
So I'll get to that. I first want to say things about the specific edition I got. I got the business edition from Amazon. And literally all it is it comes with like a business card case that is like metal with like a picture of like a dragon on the front of it, and it opens up and it has like business cards from the characters in the game. It's like pretty freaking great, actually. Like if ever
that's a neat. That's just a neat like little item that you can just put it on a shelf somewhere next to your computer screen.
Yeah, that's everybody's favorite part of buying stuff, though, is having case candy. Like, I know when you got your new mic for the podcast, Leo, you probably had some candy in there, so.
some of the most generic candy ever.
But it's
like
still
Smarties?
better than nothing.
There was an atomic fireball in there, and I ate that. That was a couple. There's 2 or 3. I ate them. Those are good.
Nice. So, Yakuza 0. So, this game is a prequel to, like, the other 5 games in the series, none of which I have played. So, that makes a big difference, I think. So, like, I started playing this game, and the first few hours of this game start off with like a lot of cinematic story dialogue stuff, and I think I would have been more interested in this stuff if I had been a fan of Yakuza already and had played through some of the prior games, because it's basically an origin story for the main character of the whole series. And if you'd already played 5 games with this character, it would probably be really awesome to go back and find out like what shaped him, and you'd probably be really happy to sit through these like long periods of dialogue. But as it was, I was kind of just bored for like much of the game.
So as a new player, it was kind of throwing you off a little bit because you're just like they're just blabbing on, and you're just like rolling your eyes and looking out the window at a bird or something because you've lost interest in the game.
And it's not that like interesting things didn't come up in the conversation, or there weren't some like quirky, like weird Yakuza characters, but like a scene would start and like 2 minutes in, I would get the point. Like, I get the point of the scene. Like, we can move on to the action now, right? Like, when is this game going to open up? And then the scene would go on for like 7 more minutes, and I would just be like, oh my God. I'd be like face palming by the end of the scene. I'm like, please end. I get the point here. And it just did that several times. And so the game where I am still hasn't even really opened up. Like, it's allowed me to like run around, like, I guess it's Tokyo, or I guess like it's I don't know, it might be a fictional city called Kamurocho. I don't know if it's actually a real place or if it's like a place inside of Tokyo. But like, you can go into restaurants and you can order food, you can go into convenience stores, and they're like unbelievably modeled. You can look at like Shonen Jump magazines and like all this stuff. You can buy like ramen, you can buy like anything you could buy in like Japan in like a convenience store. You can just pick up and like use for your character for like health purposes later and stuff like that. And then the other big thing about Yakuza that I've always heard great things about is like the mini games. The first mini game that the game forces you through is a karaoke mini game, where it's basically like a rhythm game. Like, you get up on stage and like you just press the buttons in rhythm, and you're basically at like some bar with your friend. And then he's like, we should do some karaoke. And so you get up there and you do this, and like all this crazy stuff, like this concert production starts happening in the background, and it's pretty great. So that had me hyped. I was like, okay, this game might be boring in the story parts, but at least the mini games are going to be freaking awesome. And I did really well on that mini game. So I was like, okay, I'm going to search for like more mini games now, because like I don't care about like the main part of this game at all. So let's go find mini games. And that's where I got even more disappointed, because the next mini game I went to was batting cages. And I'm a huge baseball fan, and I grew up playing baseball, so I was like, oh yes, batting cage.
And what are you playing on?
PS4.
Okay.
So the batting cage minigame would be fun, except it controls terribly, and it asks you to be very precise with your controls. So basically, you're in the batting cages, and like the pitching machine is throwing balls at you, and you have to time when you swing very, very specifically. And the balls will come at different angles. They're random every time, and different speeds that are random. So it'll just mix in curveballs, it'll mix in fastballs, and mix in changeups. And you also have to hit the ball in a specific location, which you control with your left stick. And say if you want to hit like a home run ball, you have to maybe hit it in the upper left or upper right corner. And this is just on easy mode. So you have to hold the left stick the entire time. Hold it in place, and that swivels your whole camera, so you're only seeing part of the screen when the ball is coming. So you have a worse view of like the pitch coming in. You have to hold your camera there, and you have to still time it with this terrible view. And that's just easy mode. In the harder modes, the home run signs move the whole time, so you have to like move your left stick while also watching the ball come in. It's just like a nightmare. It's a total nightmare. It's not fun, and I was like really pissed off. So I don't know. And then there was another mini game that was a dancing one. You're at a disco and you have to like bust some moves. And that one seemed like it was completely out of sync, because I would be pressing the button like exactly when they wanted me to. It was like another rhythm game sort of thing. And it just wouldn't register. It just kept saying bad, bad, instead of like okay or good or great. And like I would get some greats and okays and goods mixed in, and I'd be like, I didn't do anything differently there. Like I don't understand what I did differently. So it just became like a frustrating experience. Like I'm going to continue on with the game, but so far it still hasn't really opened up into like an open world type of game. It's very narrative focused, very like fighting and brawling focused. And the fighting stuff, the fighting mechanics are pretty fun. At least like you can pick up chairs and like hit people with them. You can do all sorts of cool special
WWE.
But yeah, it's just the mini games and like the long periods of dialogue that are really haven't been very well written. Or like entertaining, that I've just struggled with in this game.
Fair enough. Anything else you've been playing this week, or is that it?
One more thing. So there's a Humble Bundle that's going on right now that I think is really, really good. So if the pay what you want level gives you Pac-Man 256, Ace Combat Assault Horizon, and Enslaved, which is a game that's a lot of people have been comparing Horizon Zero Dawn to, because it's like a post-apocalyptic game. And then if you pay more than the average, you get Project Cars, which is a really good racing game, Warhammer 40,000 Eternal Crusade, and then Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 3. And then if you pay $15, you get Tales of Zestiria and like a big bundle of Project Cars DLC, which is cool. But anyway, the game that I played out of this so far was Ace Combat Assault Horizon, which I'm hyped for. Ace Combat 7, which is coming to PC, and Assault Horizon I think it was the first Ace Combat game that came to computers. So I've been playing through this, and it's just like a completely over the top like both like F-16 and like attack helicopter sim type thing, but like an arcade sim.
I've never played with helicopters. That sounds
it's
fun.
Pretty fun. Like there's some helicopter modes that are just like turret sections where you're just like somebody else is flying a helicopter and you're just like shooting missiles or shooting like a machine gun out of the side of it. And then there's helicopter missions where you're actually like controlling a helicopter and flying it and attacking other helicopters or providing air to ground support for troops that are on the ground. And it's really cool. Like it's just way over the top arcade sim. Like the characters are like way over the top. Like it looks like the Russians are the bad guys, but they're also like pretending to be on your side, and like you're the Americans, and like you're like hotshot pilots and stuff. It's just great so far. I would highly recommend it, especially for the price of whatever you want to pay on Humble Bundle. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, if you've never played a helicopter like style I assume it's FPS.
Yeah. So it's like you're in cockpit. Yeah.
Yeah, so an
first
FPS
person.
like that. Yeah. Go out, and it's a free to play PC game, Leo. I will eventually convert you to the master race.
Well, I did just recently, because I wanted to play Halo Wars 2 on my computer because they said it's better that way. Found out my graphics card was a piece of shit now. But it was old. It was great when I bought it. But I just now bought a new EVGA GTX 1060. And it is beautiful. And it barely fit inside.
Yeah, those cards are pretty long. Yeah.
Yeah. Pushing it in took a lot of patience and time as I slowly moved cords out of the way. Push a little bit more, move some more cords, push a little bit more. And still, even though it's in there, the cords are definitely smashed up against it because there is no room left. Yeah, it's so long that my cords can't even, the cords going to everything else can barely get around it.
Yeah,
so.
But the game you need to download, and the graphics aren't that great on it, so you would have been fine. Because I think I've probably played this game as late as 10 years ago. So it's old, but it's still around. It's called War Rock. There's a...
One word or two?
2 words. Or no, 1 word. I don't remember. You just type in War Rock. It's the only...
All right, let me write this down.
WARR.
Yeah, I got this.
OCK.
No, I know how to spell, goddammit.
Well, I just had to make sure.
No, I wrote it down both ways. It's 1 word and it's 2.
Yeah.
Just so I know what the hell I'm doing.
That game has a giant online... all it is just online FPS, team-based battles and stuff, but there's giant... I think it's like 32 on 32, where you can fly planes, you can use helicopters, you can use tanks, Humvees, things like that. And it's just this giant... It's kind of like a Halo big team battle type of thing, but with more traditional stuff. So
okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah, no, I remember playing the crap out of it growing up. So
all right, is that everything everybody's been playing this week?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. So
let's bring up the next part. We got some the games of February. What games are you guys looking forward to coming out? I guess this month, since it's the 1st of February as a recording.
Well, before the next podcast, we'll have Neo coming out on next Tuesday, February 7th. I already have that pre-ordered, so I should have some like initial thoughts on it next week. Very excited because it's basically Dark Souls, but in like a samurai, like Ninja Gaiden setting. And that setting totally speaks to me, just like the way that I thought the Bloodborne aesthetic was more interesting than the Dark Souls aesthetic. I just like where it's set more than I like the way Dark Souls is just like grimy and brown everywhere and everything. So I'm really excited for this game. The only thing is I hear it's really difficult. So it's possible I might get turned off like really early. I don't know. I'm hoping that I'm just sucked in and I can deal with the difficulty. We'll see. But I'm pretty excited about it. It looks great.
I don't think there's anything coming out in the next week for me as far as games. I'll probably try to discover some more free-to-plays or see what I can find on Steam sale or something. But other than that, I've pretty much switched off my console indefinitely till something worthwhile comes out on console for me, and I've just kind of resorted back to my PC days. So,
what about Mass Effect Andromeda in March?
I may get that. I may wait. and see if that goes on some kind of sale. And to that degree, that's not one of those that's going to be buy it one place, get it everywhere, is it? Or do we not know that yet?
Oh, for Mass Effect, I doubt that. I think
I would doubt it too, but if it was, then I would definitely just go ahead and get it. I wouldn't care. Because with me playing the Mass Effects on PC, I would rather keep them all on PC. That way I can play them all the way through forever.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But the only problem I have is that I don't have a PC that could run Andromeda right now. So maybe in the next year, if this PC dies, I will upgrade and just get like a Razer Blade or something.
Would you
nice.
Are you running laptop or desktop?
I'm currently running laptop. So
because otherwise I was going to say what component do you need to upgrade, but yeah, I guess you have to upgrade the whole thing probably.
Yeah, no, I pretty much run exclusively laptop just because for like when I was in school and stuff and being able to take like Photoshop and all those things like portable and for work and stuff, that's a huge thing to be portable. And I mean, I guess now that I own a house, it's a little easier to like, I don't have to worry about, I can just have a desktop in one place and it's never going to move for the next at least 10 years or so. But I don't know. For me, I just like having the portability of a laptop. So I want to get like a Razer Blade, or at least a Razer Blade Stealth, something that has the graphic capabilities that I need, but is still portable.
Yeah, definitely for your line of work. But BCom, is there anything in February that you're looking forward to specifically?
Well, definitely For Honor. After that beta, I thought it definitely had potential. I figure we're both probably going to grab that on Xbox and play it together. Because I didn't play it with anybody, and that game looks like it would be super fun if you have like your
already
own team
pre-ordered
of guys.
myself, and I apologize if you guys heard the loud ass car that drove past my window.
That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, you just live in like a motorcycle alley or something. It's fine.
There's some idiot across the street. His friend has a motorcycle and he thinks it's awesome to rev the shit out of it. But that was just some like shitty Civic or something. I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
An old rice burner.
And then the other game in February, I know we'll be talking about it more in the coming weeks, is obviously Horizon Zero Dawn. There was a review event for that this past week, and it looks like a lot of people have put videos up on YouTube and on gaming websites of their gameplay and their reactions to it. From what I saw, the game is starting to make sense to me now. It looks basically like a Far Cry game, except it's a Far Cry game with a female main character, so it's not just like a total like testosterone trip.
Oh, I was getting a Fallout feel from it.
Yeah, so also like the HUD and the eye that determines whether you're in stealth or out of stealth definitely looks like a Fallout or a Skyrim HUD.
Oh yeah, it was like the eye of Skyrim, yeah.
So like that, sure. Yeah, it's pulling a lot of elements together. And then the other thing I liked from the gameplay was that the dialogue options looked very much like a BioWare RPG. So it's like a in-depth RPG with like the look and expanse of Far Cry and like some of the mechanics of like a Skyrim or a Fallout. So it's like they're pulling all these good ideas together. And it just looks great. I mean, the setting is really what's going to sell the game because like it's just
about
gorgeous.
Dinosaurs?
And the dinosaurs are really cool. And like they showed like jumping up onto like the one that's called the tall neck, which is kind of like a giraffe type dinosaur, getting up onto it and getting off of it. Like all of the animations are amazing. Like Aloy's character animations in particular are just like so smooth and so good looking. And also in comparison to Fallout, I thought like the conversations with people, their facial animations looked really natural and really good. Way better than Fallout, way better than something like Resident Evil 7. So that was exciting to see because like these people felt genuine, they felt real, and like that helps you care about those characters. So
yeah, I only have 3 games looking forward to for the month of February. We've already covered all 3. The first one is For Honor on February 14th, which I think I will probably be playing a lot of and only stopping to play newer games that come out and then going back to it. having a good group gathering for it. But then after that, it's Halo Wars 2 on the 21st. And I'm not so sure. I think that one will be fun for a while. And then I'll just be playing everything else. We will wait and see what I think about that. But after that one, which was the one you just talked about, was, since apparently I'm going to get PS4 now, is a Horizon Zero Dawn on February 28th. And that one actually just looks really amazing. The fact that it's an open world looks very fun. All kinds of side quests. I know a bunch of people just posted reviews and whatnot of early gameplay, and they were like, you're doing the linear quest and there's all kinds of fun stuff to do, but then there's also like, I'm doing all these other side quests at the same time, and they're like, I'm still not getting distracted from what the main stuff is. So which will, for the most part, be one of my first, biggest, and best PlayStation games. So
yeah, that's cool.
Let's hope it does good. Otherwise, I'm going to judge it strongly.
Well, even if you don't necessarily like this game, there are a lot of PlayStation exclusives coming down the line that I think would make buying a PlayStation worth it. So I don't think you're making a bad decision.
I plan on going back and playing Bloodborne.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a good one. I'm about halfway through that game, maybe. Actually, I'm probably a third of the way through that game, honestly.
Yeah, and like we did in, was it episode 2 that we did, upcoming games?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many PlayStation exclusives, and then the Xbox is just a desert.
Yeah, it's pretty bad right now.
It's really sad to see that, but...
Yeah, it's going to be the way it is, so not much you can change about it. It's just, I guess, move on with the times. Sony's always going to put out a console, so it may end up that over the next, 2-3 years, all of us drop our Xbox Live subscriptions and just migrate to PlayStation.
Doubt it.
That would be interesting. I don't know.
Depending on how Halo 6 wraps up, I might. Because I'm pretty sold on the Xbox purely off of Halo. So if...
What? That's the only thing keeping you on the Xbox?
Yeah, really, as far as exclusives. Destiny I could play on PS4.
On
PS4.
And get all the content first there, technically, too.
Which is stupid.
Yeah.
I agree it's stupid that it's delayed, but for me, it's really Halo that's the only thing.
It's not even delayed. You don't even get some of the content now.
Well, yeah, that's true. But Halo is always my go-to game. So for me, unless they're going to just continue putting it out on Xbox, I really have no reason to keep a Windows-based console, because then if I want to play a Windows game, I can play it on PC.
So only a single game is what has kept you to Xbox.
That's the only reason I got an Xbox One instead of just keeping to 360.
The main reason I kept Xbox was that all of my friends were Xbox 360 people, so they were used to having Xbox Live subscriptions, and they decided to stay with Xbox in the next gen. So like if I could have convinced them all to switch over to the PS4, I probably would have just had a PS4. I mean, I would have still wanted to play Halo 5 though. I mean, but it really is just Halo. And like Forza. I think Forza and Halo were probably the two things really keeping me on Xbox, because I love both of those exclusives. But
yeah, and for me that's pretty much about it. I mean, we'll see if Halo 6 is, buy once, play anywhere, because well, that's a Microsoft Studios game, so it will be, because Microsoft said any game put out by their studio will be that. I don't know. I may consider trading in my Xbox One for a PS4 Pro.
It also depends like what features the Scorpio is going to have, and we'll find out probably more at E3 and then later on this year during the holiday season. So that'll determine a lot of whether I want to stay with a console. Like, say that console is going to be basically as powerful as a PC, which I don't think it will be, but if it's going to be really convenient way to play 4K games on my TV, then I'll probably get it. If it's just like a interliminary like upgrade then maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, because short of the people in our Destiny clan, all my friends have pretty much migrated to PS4 now.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, almost all of them have, because there's just more exclusives, more content for the PlayStation 4 than there is for the Xbox. So we'll see how things go. I'm not committing to anything yet.
Obviously, Nintendo Switch is where everybody's going to be.
Yeah, right. No.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, moving on to other news. None.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how bad the Switch Online tanks. I bet you it crashes day one.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're not charging anything for it for like 6 months, so it's going to be a broken mess, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah. There's a reason they're not charging for it. It's because it's broken. They know it's broken.
Everybody's going to log in, and it's just going to be an absolute wasteland. Nothing works right. They're trying to play games with their friends that are constantly keep getting disconnected and put back together, and it's horrible.
And see, this is why we use Razer Comms for our voice chat for this.
Even
It's
though we
because
should
Razer
use
Comms
Discord.
is in beta, and
my
we're having
God.
zero problems with it. It's not a for sale product. It's in beta, and it works perfect.
Hey,
Just like
BCom.
Discord. What?
Hey, BCom. There's a Razer fanboy among us. Can
Oh,
you
really?
guess who it is?
No, well, actually, I like the Razer Blade. If I ever get another
No, I
gaming
love my
laptop, I
Razer
might get that.
products.
And I've had Razer mice in the past, and they've both broken and been terrible.
Ooh, I'm using a Razer Key. No, I'm sorry. Just a Razer mice. Sorry.
Yeah, I've had Razer everything for about 3 years now, 2-3 years now, and nothing's broke. So
Do you bathe in
Yet.
Razer? You're just like in the showers, rubbing Razer mouse over yourself.
occasionally I use my Razer mouse like a bar of soap.
It
But
leaves
other
your
than
skin
that-
looking nice and fresh and green afterwards.
Yeah, I'm a good old Death Adder user. So,
Oh man.
but I use the Death Adder Classic, which is the 2013
Yeah, that's a good
perfect
mouse.
edition. So, yeah. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up. So please subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Twitter for podcast updates. We should have a new anime episode of the anime podcast coming out in the next few days as well. I believe it should be posted sometime around Sunday night after the Super Bowl or Monday morning.
Sounds about right.
Speaking of the
Yep.
Super Bowl, you can enjoy yourself this weekend. Be safe. Watch Tom Brady cheat his way to another victory in the Super Bowl. We'll be back next week. See ya.
See ya.
There.